there's no excuse for your kids not to be millionaires. Now, if you already have a kid, you're a little behind, but they still ahead of you. But let's say you're planning to have a kid, or your wife is currently pregnant right now. You can make your kids a millionaire with just $20 a month. Yes. So all you have to do is invest $20 a month. And by the time your kids retire, they're millionaires. That's it. That's all you have to do. But people don't know. They don't run the math. They don't run the numbers. And you don't know the vehicle to use, right? What should I use? Well, I call this the smartest thing you can do for your kid, because I don't care what you do. I don't care if you open up a 529 and all that other. This is the smartest thing you can do. And it's called a custodial account. Like a custodian account, custodial account. They go by both names. But a custodial account, pretty much, which I personally have one through Fidelity, but you can use any brokerage. I like Fidelity, and I'll show you at the end of this video exactly how to set one up and what these numbers look like. Because I know it's hard to believe, right? $20 to become a millionaire. 2.3 million by the time you're 67 years old. Yes, $20 to 2.3 million by the time you're 67. So this is possible. How is it possible? It's through a custodian account. Now, what's a custodian account or a custodial account? I could keep saying both names because when you look it up, it'll come up both ways. The reason is a custodial account, but you're the custodian, so it's a custodian account. The way it works is you control the account, right? You open it for your child. So this moment your kid has a social security number, you can open this for them because you're the one opening it. However, you have to use their social security number because this account would eventually be theirs. You have to transfer ownership to them between the age of 18 and 25. Now, every state varies, so Google your state and find out what age that is. That doesn't change anything. That just means it goes in their name. Like they have to manage it at that point. But if you're the parent and you know what you're doing and you haven't taught them how to invest yet, you can, as long as you have the login and password, you can continue to manage it even after you transfer it over to them. But legally, you have to transfer it over to them between the age of 18 and 25, depending on your state. All this is a regular brokerage account. It's an investment brokerage account, and you can invest in stocks, ETFs, bonds, whatever you want. Any stock you want. You can, which I would suggest, obviously, the S&P 500, because you can't lose with that. That's the top 500 companies in the stock market. And for your child, they have a lot of growth and a lot of years before they actually retire. So they can make the most of their money by just investing in something like the S&P 500. So the way this works is you open up the brokerage account, it's in their name, and then you just invest for them. You deposit money. You can deposit $20 a month. That was my example, but you could put more, 20, 30, 40. You could start with $1,000. I'm starting with $20. I'm starting with $0 and just doing $20 a month. And if you invest in something like the S&P 500, which has averaged around history, it has averaged around 11% a year, with $20 an hour, that would compound to 2.3 million by the time your kid is 67 years old. Now, we all know the age of living, they're trying to expand everything. They're trying to push retirement to 70 and 74, and because they realize people are living longer, which is crazy because we have horrible food in this world, but that's another story. But yeah, people are living longer, and because they're living longer, they're trying to push everything out. But the good thing is there's an individual account. The kids can use this money at any time. This is not a retirement account. You can use it at any given time. So you can sell everything and they can use it to buy a house. They can use it to get married. They can use it whatever they want. Now, the smartest thing to do is just to keep growing it, but it's money for them. This could be money for their college. It could be money for a car. It could be money, like I said, to get married, to buy a house, any of that. You just have to pay taxes, right? That's it. When you sell, you'll pay taxes, but the best part is because it's your kid's account, you'll be paying taxes at their rate, at the kid's rate, which it's the lowest rate there is. And if they sell anything early in age, I believe is 18. Anything prior to 18, the first like $1,300 or something like that. You obviously have to Google this because I don't know when you're watching this video, it changes every year. But I think like the first $1,300 is tax free, and then everything after that is taxed at the kids rate. And then going from there forward, you can use that money at any time, or you can continue growing it. So it's up to you. But I believe this is the account every parent should get their child. If you don't have a kid yet, get ready to get this when your kid is on the way. So as soon as they're born and they're in the hospital, the very next, the moment you bring that child home, open up this account, put 20 bucks in there, and do 20 bucks every month. That's all you need, and they'll be millionaires. And that's pretty much it. So I think this account is important. I think every parent should have one for their kids. If your kid's already 18 and they're working, you can open up a Roth for them. If they're not 18 yet, you can still open up a custodial account for them. Because a Roth, you have to make income in order to open up a Roth for them. But you can always open up an individual account as a custodian account. And if they're over 18, you can open an individual account as a regular account because they're already 18. Custodial accounts are really built for kids under 18. So that's why I said you can start this when your kids are born. So take a look at that. Look at that option. Like I said, I use Fidelity. But I'm going to show you before I go, what those numbers look like in a compound calculator. And I'm also going to show you how to start one with Fidelity specifically. But then after that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, so here we are on investor.gov, or you can Google compound calculator or Google investor.com, either way. But this is going to show you what the results will be with putting $20 aside. So here's your initial investment. Like I told you, I said I'm starting with $20 and my monthly contribution will be $20. Length and time, I am assuming your child is just born, so 67 years, but of course, whatever your child's age is, subtract that from 67, and that's where you put. And then estimated interest rate. So the S&P 500 has averaged 11%. Obviously, you can go conservative and do 10, 9, 8, whatever. But remember, we're only doing $20. And you don't have to worry about this. And compound frequency is annually. So if you click calculate, here it is. In 67 years, you will have $2.393 million. And that's just with $20. Now, if you want to go conservative, let's say even 8%, which is not what it's been averaging. I think this year we're already up at almost 20, which is ridiculous. That's not normal, but even at 8%, which is conservative, you'll have $500,000 with $20. So if you put $40, you'll have $1 million. And that's being conservative because, like I said, history has averaged 11%, the market. So that'll give you your almost $4 million at the age of 67. Now, to open this account, just Google Fidelity Custodial account, and it'll be, I believe the second link. Here it is right here. You'll click on that. Okay, and this will pop up right here, and it tells you plan for your child's future by saving and investing on their behalf. And like I explained earlier, transfer to the minor at a certain age, 18 to 25, depending on the state. Your families and friends can contribute. So for their birthdays, you can put in there. And a portion of their earnings may be exempt from federal taxes. Remember, I was telling you about the $1,300. Again, you got to Google that and see what the amount is. But it pretty much gives you an idea of how much you can make in here. I mean, it depends on what you invest in, how much you put in there. But you can go through all these FAQs if you're interested. But that's how simple it is. And then you just open it here and that's it. So that's how you open one. This is the amount you can make with just $20. And of course, this can change. This can vary. I mean, nothing's predictable going forward in the future. But history has said we've averaged 11% a year, even in down markets. So with down markets included in there. So that's a good average, but that's about it. Make sure you get this account started for your kids. I suggest I believe is a great option to help your kids, get a head start in life, especially financially. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one.